Hey, casual crypto investor family, it is the casual crypto investor, and I am back with another video. In this video, we got a lot of crypto news to share. And again, we have some more information and I know you guys, if you're tuning into this channel, you probably listen to several crypto YouTubers, and a lot of them do a lot of great work. But this is something that I'm not hearing on a lot of the, big and medium and small YouTube crypto channels such as mine, right? Not a lot of people are talking about this, but there are some indicators, or at least some things that I'm starting to see in the market. And when I say the market, it's not just the crypto market, but just the overall economy that I'm seeing that is making me have flashbacks again of 2006, 7, and 8. If some of you are young listeners out there, you might not remember or maybe even lived through that experience possibly. But let me just tell you that, that housing crisis and everything that went down with banks collapsing and all that kind of stuff, that was a very difficult time for a lot of Americans and just for the entire world. I mean, it was pretty much almost like a global meltdown. And maybe I'm maybe scarred from that a little bit, but the thing that I'm seeing is that there's a saying that history doesn't always repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes. All right. And so what I'm saying is that, yeah, like I'm not expecting another potential housing crisis like we had in 2006, 7, and 8 again. But I am noticing some things that are happening in the economics or, in the economy that bring me flashbacks of that. And I'm going to share some of them I've shared already in some previous videos. But I'm showing you the breadcrumbs and connecting the dots. And hopefully you can see that, yes, I'm not a financial advisor, right? Obviously I got to say that, right? I'm not an economist. Okay. I didn't graduate from Harvard or anything like that, but I will say that we can look at certain patterns and trends. And from that, we can make a educated guess on which direction the economy is going in. And right now, there are some warning signs that are happening that we need to be mindful of, or at least. And again, I also propose this as I'm not saying that I'm right about this. What I am saying is that let's maybe have a discussion about it. But here's the reason why I'm feeling this particular way. So we're going to dive into that. I know that was a little long winded, but let me actually refresh my screen here just to make sure I'm bringing you the most up-to-date crypto information. So we are currently still down. Oh, let me back up too as well. The other thing too, when I'm seeing these things now, when I'm saying these things, one thing I want to keep in mind is that during that 6, 7, 2006, 7, and 8, I personally wasn't really involved in crypto like that. Crypto wasn't really on my radar. And it's going to be interesting to see if we do have a downturn in the market, how does crypto respond to that? So currently right now, if we look at alt season, we're at a 53 right now. A lot of the trend is actually going to alternative cryptos, right? They're not investing in Bitcoin. It's gradually going to the altcoin as we see here. And then also too as well, we're kind of in the middle here of slightly overbought, not really oversold. So when we look at the RSI, right now it's kind of in the middle somewhat. We're at a 54. So, we're gradually a little bit, maybe, I don't know, kind of in the middle here. So we shall see. And when we look at the fear and greed index, and it kind of mimics the RSI, we're kind of neutral right now. We're not fearful. We're kind of a little bit fearful, but not all the way. So it's going to be interesting to see if we do have some type of huge downturn in the market, how does the crypto market respond to that? And could potentially crypto be one of those new exits that liquidity could pour into in the event that we have a financial crisis? Because if you recall, if you maybe experienced the economic meltdown that we had during that time in 2006, 7, and 8, a lot of that money poured into gold, right? A lot of that money poured into at the time, surprisingly, even real estate, because some people were able to buy real estate pennies on the dollar at that time. It flowed into other assets. So now that we have this other off ramp being crypto, it's going to be interesting to see if crypto could potentially be one of those off ramps in the event that we do have a huge downturn in the market. So, but right now, when we look at crypto, we are down. We're at $3.87 trillion right now. Bitcoin is sitting at 111,000. Ethereum is just under 4,500, sitting at $4,300 right now. XRP pulled back. We were above $3, but right now we're below that. We're sitting at $2.94. So even though XRP has done fairly well compared to the past 7 days between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, XRP is up almost 3.5% or 3.25%. So, XRP is doing fairly well. And this also goes to show, I'm going to share some information with you in a second, that I think XRP is that one. All right. Quick shameless plug. Make sure to give me a follow on X if you want to stay updated in regards to what's happening with the casual crypto investor, as well as what's happening in the overall crypto market. Because, guys, things are happening so fast. Sometimes it's easier for me to pump out a tweet than it is for me to make a video. So make sure to follow me on X. All right, so let's get into it. Let me rub my hands. Let me take a sip of this hot chocolate. Oh, I also want to give you guys a brand. It's called Silly Cow Hot Chocolate. I highly, highly recommend it. It is fire. All right, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I don't know where you guys are all coming from, but in my area, it's starting. The fall vibes are definitely in effect. So yeah, definitely grab you something to drink and something to snack on while you watch this video, and hopefully you enjoy the content. Let me take a sip. All right, that's good stuff. All right, so one of the things that we have coming up here, or at least that I want to share in regards to my statement earlier in regards to downturn in the market, this just happened today. U.S. payroll revised down by 911,000 jobs, the largest cut in history. All right. U.S. payroll's down. That's another sign. And some of the other clips I'm going to, tidbits I've already shared. But again, we're connecting the dots. All right. Then this just happened. What was this? On September 5th, Watcher Guru tweeted, U.S. unemployment rate for ages 16 to 24. A lot of these are people, obviously high school students and people just getting out of college, or maybe they've been out of college for a little bit, rises to 10.5%. That means young folks are not finding jobs. I experienced this back in 2006. All right. I know it was like, barely able to find a job just coming out of college. It was a stressful time. All right. And so now we're seeing this happen all over again, which makes me very nervous. All right. Then I mentioned this too as well. This happened on a few days ago on September 5th. What happened with gold during the economic crisis of 2006, 7, 8? Gold shot up like crazy. Gold reaches a new all-time high of $3,600. All right. Things are starting to happen and people are not talking about it. And this is why you need to prepare. Start saving money. Get out of debt. Invest. Buy assets. Okay. This is what's going to protect you. Not financial advice, but this is my strategy. All right. Moving on to as well some positive crypto news, and this makes me, and that's why I'm definitely investing and continuing to invest in crypto, especially those cryptos with real world that focus on real world assets. All right here it says Vietnam approves 5-year trial program for crypto trading platform. Countries are starting to get involved. Crypto is coming mainstream. All right, this is huge, guys. We imagine being able to invest in Apple or Amazon or Google or some of these huge companies, Nvidia, Tesla, all right, for pennies on the dollar. All right. We have an opportunity here, and I'm definitely taking advantage of it personally. All right. Moving on to as well. Now, I think this is very, very interesting. Okay. And I'm going to show you a clip too as well, or another tab in a second, where I'm very cautious with USDT and Bitcoin, guys. All right. I know there's a lot of positive sentiment with Bitcoin, but I also feel like you can be careful with Bitcoin. That's all I'm going to say. Be careful. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Okay. But I'm being careful with that. I don't really hold Bitcoin. All right. Because I'm very leery about it. And so it says that Tether says they did not sell Bitcoin for gold. We buy and hold both. What and interesting, right? Interesting. Oh, okay. You hold both. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So that just goes back to my point that people are buying gold. Okay. People are buying gold because they know that something is coming down the pipeline, or potentially could be coming down the pipeline. But most likely there's something afoot. There's something rotten. Okay, okay, all right, okay. They hold both, which is great. I'm not, hey, all right, but at the same time too, they don't want to get caught with their pants down, so to speak. Okay, all right. Moving on to as well. Now, this is very bullish for crypto. This is huge. This is massive. Okay, this is why we're in this market. This is why you're watching this video. All right, this is why you subscribe to the channel. NASDAQ has filed with the SEC to tokenize stocks, letting investors trade equities either traditionally or on chain with full shareholders' rights, guys. This would be huge. Okay. And then we're not just talking the NASDAQ, you're talking the Dow, you're talking all the various stock markets all across the world. Was it the DKE or whatever it's called? I think in Japan or China or something like that. Okay. All right. All these various markets are going digital. All right. People will be able to buy stock, not even just stock, but fractions of a stock. All right. They can get into the market the same way we're buying crypto, the same strategy, and the same way that we utilize various crypto apps like Coinbase and crypto.com and all these Robinhood and all these places where we're buying crypto. You'll be able to buy stock with your phone. All right. We can do that now, right? You can do that now, but you can also buy fractions of a stock. You're not set to buying, $100 or $1,000 of Amazon or Nvidia or whatever stock you want. You can buy fractions of it. This is huge. Okay. And this is why I'm bullish on the crypto market. I thought this was pretty interesting too, as well. This is from Eleanor Tourette. All right. This is huge too. It says here in a recent speech, acting CFTC chair Caroline Pham, who also, by the way, used to work at Ripple, okay, said that the agency is exploring whether foreign crypto trading platforms that follow robust crypto specific rules, such as the EU's MiCA framework, could be recognized under U.S. cross border regulations. All right. Now let's connect the dots. All right. What stablecoin is not allowed in Europe? Huh. I think it was something called was it Feather? Was it Heather? Oh, that's right. Tether. Okay, okay. Tether. If they follow, it's going to be interesting what happens with Tether if this is true and that this happens, that the CFTC follows MiCA regulations, because guess who didn't get approved with MiCA? Tether. Okay. And if Tether goes down, what is that going to happen to Bitcoin? What's going to happen? All right. It could potentially go down. Moving on, it says MiCA framework could be recognized under U.S. cross-border regulations. It follows the agency's recent reformation of its long-standing framework for boards of trade, foreign boards of trade, which allows certain non-U.S. crypto exchanges already regulated by a foreign authority to provide direct access to U.S. traders by registering with the CFTC as FBOTs rather than designated contract markets, or DCMs. All right. So basically, what it is saying is that basically various foreign exchanges that we might not have, like what is that one? I think it's called like MEXC or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but some of these foreign exchanges that maybe meet some of these MiCA guidelines already will now be also to be accessible with U.S. users. So there will be no excuse not to be able or not to have access to invest in crypto, stocks, you name it, maybe even real estate at some point, all that good stuff. So guys, this is a huge just opportunity for us to, build that financial wealth. And the cool thing with this is, man, I couldn't imagine. I wish I was a kid and, when I was in college, yeah, I had a little job or whatever, I could have been buying stock, fractions of a stock, if it was digital during the time when I was coming up. Okay. All right. Now, some of these people will be able to get into the stock market at a very, very earlier entry point and earlier age, which is exciting. All right. Moving on to as well. What's also happening is that breaking managing director Cassie Craddock at Ripple says our new partnership with BBVA is another clear signal that the world's largest banks are embracing digital assets. Excuse me, I take another sip there. All right. So it says they have a new partnership with BBVA, and I was not familiar with BBVA, but I'm going to show you what BBVA is in a second. Is another clear signal that the world's largest banks are embracing digital assets spurred on by regulatory clarity from frameworks like the EU's MiCA regulations. And guess who's already compliant? Ripple. Okay. Very excited to be providing our institutional grade custody technology to support BBVA's retail crypto offering in Spain. All right. And so what is BBVA? So BBVA is the Banco Bill. I'm probably murdering the name. Bilboa Vizcaya Argentaria. I guess I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Right. Better known as BBVA, is a Spanish multi-financial services company based in Bilbao, Spain, with operative offices in Madrid. It is one of the largest financial institutions in the world and is present mainly in Spain, Portugal, Mexico, South America, Turkey, Italy, Romania, and Germany. Man, this is huge. All right. And when I scroll down here, so their revenue was almost $35.5 billion in 2024. Operating income, 17 billion, net income, 10 billion. Total assets under their management, $772 billion, dude. That's insane. That's insane. Okay. That's insane. And look at that. Guess who's partnered with them? XRP, Ripple. Come on, man. The writing is on the freaking wall. All right. Be blessed that you're in this space earlier. All right. Then I thought this was interesting too, as well. NASDAQ was, as I mentioned earlier, who's also trying to work with the SEC to basically, what was it? To be, oh gosh, what was it? It was to, what do I have? Yeah, to tokenize stocks, right? Letting investors trade equities either traditionally or on chain with full shareholders' rights, right? So basically tokenizing the stock market. Boom, look at this. And this is from Digital Asset Investor. Shout out to Digital Asset Investor, DAI, right? Right after Gemini issues their XRP card, what a coincidence. NASDAQ to invest 50 million into Gemini. What did Gemini just do? They had the XRP card, and they're trying to become one of the largest exchanges in the world, or at least locally right now. They're, trying to start obviously here in the States, but I'm sure their goal is to have global expansion. Guys, we are truly, truly blessed. And I even I even commented to DAI's post that said, it's a no-brainer in regards to what's happening right now. The writing is on the wall. All right. No doubt. Okay. No doubt. If you don't see what's happening right now, I mean, you need help. You need to get your glass. You need to get some glasses. You need to go to Lens Crafters or Pearl or something like that to get your eyes checked. So, guys, I'm excited. You should be too. Man, I'm speechless because we waited so long for things to happen, and things are just gradually, the dominoes are just falling one by one. Though I wish they were falling a little bit faster, but hey, I'll take what I can get. But guys, that's all that I have for you today. I hopefully you liked the video. If you like this type of content, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one.